best solution that I found, the easiest sort of off-the-shelf component that you sort of plug in and go is this. It's a box called the T2C. It's made from a company called Carlinkit, and I've tried a lot of different iterations of this. I've tried a lot of different boxes, and this is the best I found because it's literally a plug-and-play solution. You plug it into power, you sort of set it up with your phone, and then you've got wireless CarPlay or Android Auto right inside of your Tesla. Okay, so getting this installed is actually quite simple and is not as intimidating as the instruction manual might lead you to believe, because if you go through this and you read it, it could be a little intimidating. A lot of people always question me about the SIM card. You need the SIM card. No, you don't. This is because the manufacturer has updated this process. The setup process is pretty easy, though sometimes it can be a little tricky. So let me show you how to fix some of the most common issues and get this going. Basically, all you have to do with this box is just plug it in. You don't have to touch it after that. So I've plugged the USB-C cable in underneath here. I'm going to take the box, I'm going to plug it into power, and then I'm going to jump on my phone and show you how this works. All right, so the device is powering up, and let me just say that there's nothing you have to do on the screen here to get started. What is really going to be happening here for the setup initially is going to be on your phone. So while this is powering up and I see the lights coming on here, I'm not sure if it's going to be up just yet, but let's go ahead and check. I'm going to go into the settings on my phone. I'm going to go to Wi-Fi, and I'm going to try to join the network of this box. And you should see it pop up as something like AutoKit, which is exactly what this one here is. And I think the password is, I think it's 88. So I think it's 888888888. Let's see if I can know this. I've done a couple of these, so looks like I was right. So I'm going to connect to that. And then what I'm going to do is go to sort of the back end of this box to make sure it's up to date. So I'm going to jump in here to the settings. I'm going to see the router address is 192.168.3.1. So I'm going to now go into Safari. I'm going to go to 192.168.3.1, if I can type here correctly. Excuse me for that. And this is going to be the back end of this box. And what we might see here is, oh, this actually looks like it's up to date. Let's go ahead and refresh. It looks like it's up to date, which is great. Sometimes a lot of the boxes are not up to date. And if you don't have a box that's up to date, that's where you're going to run into a lot of issues. But if you do have everything set up, then actually it's going to work like that really well. So because there's no update, everything is running perfectly. And the only thing I want to check is for the Bluetooth modem on. Basically what this means is that it's going to use the Bluetooth connection from your phone, the internet connection from your phone, to give the internet that this box needs to connect to your car. All right, so now all we're going to do is we're going to jump into the Wi-Fi settings of our car. So I'm just going to jump up here to where it says LTE. I'm going to go see AutoKit right there, and I'm going to type in our password, 88888888. I believe that's the same password for all those boxes here. And with any luck, our car should connect to it, and then we will be able to jump into the browser and actually go to the corresponding web page to get this all loaded up. Perfect. It's actually connected. I've had mixed results. Like I said, the big issue here I've seen is a lot of these boxes are outdated. So if they're not updated correctly, they're not going to work. But this one is working out really well. Now I'm going to go to the browser of the car, which is going to be this icon here. And I believe the website is testpush.com. It's TESPUSH.com. I believe that's the website. And if it works, we should see, there we go. There's our interface, which is really awesome to see. So I can now see that I can pair my device with Bluetooth on my phone. I can see the device. This is sort of the back end of the box that I don't need to see. So now let me jump on my phone here, excuse me. I'm going to turn Wi-Fi off, and I'm going to connect this just to Bluetooth on my phone. So, I mean, you just basically go to your phone, you connect to AutoKit. I'm not going to screen record this because you just know how to do it. You basically connect your phone via Bluetooth. I'm going to go ahead and hit pair, hit sync. And then with any luck in a moment here, we're now connected on our phone, and we're going to see connecting there on the car, and I'm going to be dropped right into CarPlay in like 5 seconds. So 5, 4, hit that, turn on, and we should be loaded into CarPlay right now. And hey, there we go. Full on CarPlay in our Tesla. That was incredibly easy. So now I'm dropped into the full-on CarPlay experience. This is actually the new experience with iOS 17. I haven't seen this yet. And now we can see everything here is basically good to go. What you'll notice here is that it's actually fairly responsive. I can see all the different apps, and I can launch all these apps just like I would and be able to have the full CarPlay experience. And the cool thing as well is that it's just running in the browser. So if I go into Drive, it's still going to pop up here. I could even open a map if I wanted to. Let's say I wanted to open up Google Maps, for example, and have that running. I can do that. I could have Waze if I wanted to. This is going to give you the full CarPlay experience running here in your browser. Though I will say there's one thing you want to make sure you do. This is going to display video. The touch component is going to work. I can jump into settings. I can change everything, but the audio is still going to run through your phone over Bluetooth. So you want to make sure that if we go into settings here, our phone is connected via Bluetooth. So we're going to make sure that that's still connected, which it should be. Yeah, I still got the 15 Pro Max there. And then I also want to make sure that if I go up here to the network, go to Wi-Fi settings, I want to make sure that I can remain connected in drive. This is a really weird Tesla setting that I'm not sure why they have it set this way. But basically, when you switch from drive to park or park to drive by default, it's going to disconnect you from your network. In our case, we want to make sure we are connected whether we're in drive or park, so the CarPlay isn't going to stop and start every time we happen to shift from drive to park. So I'm going to hit remain connected while drive, and that is that. And yeah, so my Bluetooth is going to handle all of my audio, so I got all the streaming there, and then the browser here is going to handle the actual CarPlay experience. And if I go here, for example, I'll turn up the volume a little bit here, go to music, and just show you how this works. Like, let's say I want to go to, I'm listening to a lot of Moana these days with my 2-year-old. Go to Moana, I tap on that, and I can start playing it. Let's say I want to go to this song here. I'm not going to play it for too long because of the conflicts with YouTube copyright, but it's going to work perfectly like that. I can see my battery level of my phone. I've got my different apps. And like I mentioned, you're getting the full CarPlay experience here right inside of your Tesla. There is no way to make this larger because Tesla is going to limit the browser just to this. And I've seen some questions on the speed and how it works. I think it's fairly responsive. Again, this is going through the browser. It's streaming wirelessly. And this is only going to go as fast as the Tesla browser is. So it's a little bit better in the Ryzen-based vehicles than it is in the Intel Atom-based vehicles. So the newer Teslas are going to do better. And as we can see here, everything is working fairly well. Sometimes the touch control is a little weird, but that's just because we're sort of using CarPlay in our browser. There we go. But I've got full-on messaging support here. I can jump into settings and I can change, let's say, the wallpaper, for example. If I wanted to go to this blue, for example, I could. I mean, like I said, you're getting the full CarPlay experience here. Even apps you'd want to use on CarPlay, like Waze, for example, oh, you can do it. I've got full-on Waze support here. If I go, there's Waze right there, and bam, there's Waze. I'm ready to go and I'm ready to navigate wherever I want to go. If I wanted to navigate to Starbucks, I could go like this. Navigate to Starbucks. I guess I should have said Starbucks, but this should work too. Let's try it again. Starbucks. There we go. Tap on that. And yeah, like I said.
Arrival time on this route is similar to
like I said, I mean, you're basically getting really the full-on CarPlay experience right inside of your Tesla. You could have Waze, for example. For me, I'm a big fan of third-party apps like Overcast for my podcast, so I've got that all going here. And again, your phone's doing all the audio streaming, but you've got the CarPlay interface here to do your navigation. So if I was going to do an audiobook, I could use Libby. Some people like the PlugShare app a lot if you want to look for third-party charging stations. If there's an app that works on CarPlay, it's going to work on here perfectly well. And the touch responsiveness is pretty good. Some apps are better than others. Some have sort of funkier controls than others, but this is basically the full unencumbered CarPlay experience right on your Tesla, and it's all running through that box. So there you guys go. Hope that was helpful.